Let's go into the psukim. I'm going to explain. We're going to see interesting parsha that's going to give us the two opposites. The parsha starts with Kedoshim tihiyu, ki kadosh ani Hashem. We explained last week that the mitzvahs, and we emphasized on Shabbos, we went pretty deep on this, that what is a mitzvah? A mitzvah is the asset that Hashem tells us to reach. But by doing so and listening to the tzivul, to the order of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, automatically the person becomes the shliach of Hashem. And since we know the klal, shliach adam kemoisoi, that the shliach of a person is like him, therefore, when we are mekayim the mitzvah, automatically we are referring back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and since he is Kadosh, in order for not us to be decimated with the level of Kedusha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekasher that Kedusha. That's how the Kedusha, so in other words, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says Kedoshim tiyu, you have to have in mind that really the concept is I have to be mekayim a mitzvah with in mind that I'm I'm basically doing the order of Hashem. I'm carrying out a mission for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Put it that way. That's much better. I'm carrying out a mission for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore I'm getting closer to Hashem because, and we're going to see this whole inyan today of the words. What it means, I'm making a shliach. What it means, I'm using my mouth this way or that way. What is the mouth? What's so important? It seems to us that actions are a lot more important in this world. Action lasts. Words fly, disappear, are not here. Can you make a kinyan? Can you buy a field according to halacha only with words? No. Buying a property requires an action. So you see, even in halacha, that sometimes there's a requirement for an action. Why is the words? Why can I be koine a field with my mouth? If I can destroy the world with my mouth, why can I buy the world with my mouth? Let's go into the psukim. So we said at the beginning, we're talking about the Kedusha. Automatically, we have a series of lavim mentioned in right after, and that tells us what destroys the world. Lo yisekar al cheresh. You're not allowed, there's a law, lo yisekar al cheresh, you're not allowed to insult, curse a deaf person. He doesn't hear you. What's the difference? You're not allowed, there's a law. So when we're going to say there's a law, we're going to say automatically the person has created a pagam in himself. We're going to understand that a bit better as we go along. Misusing the mouth, what does it do to the body, the physical body and the spiritual body? Velifnei iver lo yisitan michshoy. And before a blind, don't put an obstacle. Really? Do I need to learn that? This is pure achzarius. So you are ordered on the shchita to have a very sharp knife because of tzar balechaim. You're not allowed to do shchita with a knife that has a dent. The shchita is possible because you make an animal suffer. Kol sheken a human being. So what? The blind is going to go stumble and fall, and you're going to hold yourself cracking. How idiot is that person, honestly? That's having fun from the pain of his friend. We'll see the touch after that, the real touch. I'm just translating so far very simply. And why you should not have to do that? Because you have to fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hold it. I mean, take off the v'yaresam Elokecha. Don't you think that not cursing someone, not soiling your mouth, we've learned that it's the das. When someone is soiling his mouth, it means the das is soiled. A guy who's capable of putting an obstacle before a blind person is a sick person. Sick. It's not a person that you can reason and make. No, but the Torah says, apparently here, there is the remedy, the medicines for these people. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Lo yisekal al cheresh. Don't curse a deaf person. What happened here? If I break the meiser, one person is cursing his friend. The other guy is still smiling because he doesn't hear, doesn't get hurt. And still, there is a law. Here, the victim is getting hurt. So kol sheken, obviously. So you should have put lo yisitan michshol lifnei iver ve'lo yisekal al cheresh. So you can't teach me if already someone that doesn't hurt his friend just by soiling his mouth with a curse is over allowed. Kol sheken someone that's gonna hurt his friend. Obviously, it's a. So which is the most stringent? The most stringent is the first one. So how can you put me the first one? Because from this first one, I can show you, I can learn all the rest of them. There's nothing more stringent than cursing someone that can hear. Why? Because of your mouth. So why do I need lo yisasu mishpat, lo yisel, especially I wanted to, Shabbos, I'm going to talk on this one. Lo yiserech rachil beyamecha. Don't go and pass along, you know what I know from this one and everything, even if it's true. You're not allowed to. You're not going to get there. I just want to finish the first part of the first part of this pasuk, and second, maybe I'll be able to finish the first pasuk. Now, we see, well, I don't have to bring this. Rashi explains here, Velifnei. Let's go into the shiur. I'm going to explain what Rashi says and the Sifra. That's enough. The first pasuk, I think, is plenty enough for tonight, and it can take us way over time. So I don't want to start right away. Midrash Tanchuma, Midrash Rabbah on this parsha say the Torah starts Daber al Bnei Yisrael al Kol Adas Bnei Yisrael, to the whole community, including children, women, men, and so forth. Midrash is asking, why did Moshe Rabbeinu have to do the mitzvah of Hakhel? It means to gather all the Yidden before this parsha. This parsha is not a simple parsha. This parsha, the Midrash lists all the 10 commandments, and against them the 10 commandments in Parashas Kedoshim. We have the דיבורים. And any of the lavim here would basically be over on the דיבורים. 1, 10, we'll see. Why? What's so important in this parsha that's bedavke here? Moshe Rabbeinu, even though it's not published, we say, Vayakhel Moshe es kol adas bnei Yisrael. Okay, in Parshas Vayakhel, we know there was a Hakel. In Vezei Sabracha, we know there was in Vezei Sabracha, you know, the last day of Moshe Rabbeinu. But here, what happened here? What's so important? We're going to start explaining Lifnei Iver before we're going to go back to Cheresh. Because we need to understand why is Lifnei Iver more stringent than Cheresh. So I'm going to try explaining it pretty simply. It's not a difficult shiur today. It's just a little bit, or you know, a few shitas here and there. We're gonna dance a little bit, not much, a little bit. It's definitely not as hard as the shiur last week. So it's very understandable, and the message is as huge as 787. The Sifra here in the Parsha explains what is the love of a Lifnei Iver lo yisitem miksheh, and says that we're not talking about someone who's blind. We're talking about someone who's blind in a certain area, in a certain subject. In other words, a Kohen comes to you and asks you, you think I can ask this girl for a shid? I mean, can go out in shidduch with this girl? And you said, for sure, yes, and everything. You're Kohen, yeah, she's good. And you know that she's not proper for kahuna. She got divorced. That person is over lifnei iver. He's providing the wrong advice to his friend. Someone, you know, was coming through town and asked, that's still the words of the Sifra, and asked, can I leave early in the morning? And the guy says, sure. And you know that there are bandits roaming in the morning around the city. You just want to have a kick. This guy, let him learn a lesson. I don't like him. Oiver lifnei iver. Is the guy getting malchus? No, it's a lav shen bo ma'aseh. There's no action in it, so he cannot receive the lashes. In other words, he's having fun at the expense of his friend. So what's his punishment? Really nothing, right? We'll see. Third example the Sifra gives. You're a broker in real estate and whatever, and the guy says, should I sell my field? I don't know what to do. I'll send it to buy a donkey, so I don't know if it's time. It's a hard time for real estate and so forth. And you know the market is about to go up. Or you just like the location of that field. You simply, well, yeah, sell it. And you're going to buy it. Now, we see that I'm providing, included in the law, is providing the wrong advice for my benefit. Previously, the previous examples, the Sifra said, I had no benefit. And a fortiori if I have a benefit. Rashi, when he brings down the pshat on this law, is only bringing the last example of the Sifra. He's not bringing the previous ones. In other words, he's saying that the isur of lifnei iver relates to a person giving the wrong advice to his friend to sell his field, and he wants to buy it. Meaning, according to Rashi, only if I draw a benefit from my bad advice, then I would be chayav. If I don't draw any benefit, apparently, I am not chayav. This is very hard. This is very hard to understand, Rashi, because we already have a law in the Torah, in the Aseres HaDibros of lo yisachmoi. You should not envy. And this includes everything that you do in order to reach the property of your friend. So what do I need this love of lifnei iver lo sitan mirchol. It's already included. Lo isachmoid include even older aseres adibros according to the Zohar. But why specifically in Parashas Kedoshim, Moshe Rabbeinu feels the need to tell us this over? Lo isachmoid, you should have said lo isachmoid, do not envy anything your friends have. Don't go out of your way providing him the wrong advice. Why is Rashi saying that there is a problem here? Because if people would approach him and say, you gave him the wrong advice, he could always find the excuse, no, that was the best of my knowledge. I told him exactly what I thought. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows he's alive. In here, he knows only Hashem sees that. And he reneges that. As if nobody knows. Nobody's going to be able to catch me. Yes, you forget about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do you want to tell me that's the issue? Oh, because we have plenty same alike Isurim like this, where the person, like Arayas, someone who goes with the erva, a forbidden woman, he also reneges HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Same category of people. They do what they do behind closed doors, thinking no one sees them, and reneging the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu everywhere. So that cannot be it. And even according to the Sifra, we have in the Klolis, in the Arurim, in Parshas, right? We have Arur Mashge Iver Badarech. Cursed shall be the one who sent the blind on the wrong way, meaning providing the wrong advice to someone, he has already an arrow, a curse, a shvua. He's finished. Why do you have to add me a little love in the middle in order to, what for? What do I need it for? I have a much more serious punishment in Parshas Re'eh. I don't need this little punishment of the love. I have a much bigger one. So Sifra, as much as I understand what you're saying, providing the wrong advice to a person because the person in that field is considered to be blind, I understand. It's not right. But this is under the prohibition of an error in Parashas Re'eh. I don't need to have it in Parashas Kedoshim. There's no way out, neither from the Sifra, neither from Rashi. However, I have one other avenue here to investigate. Because Velifnei Iver is written after something else. It says, Lo yisekal v'cheresh, do not curse a deaf person. Velifnei Iver, with a vav connecting, it's the same type of isur. Okay? Meaning, whether I'm cursing, shouldn't say, either someone is cursing a deaf person, which could include his friend that's not here, we'll see it from the Zohar, or providing the wrong advice to a person is equal. We have to understand, as much as we can see, where the pgam is when you say something derogative to a person, to a cheresh, to a deaf person. I'm not saying anything really bad by a questionable advice giving to someone. And the question would be the halacha. The guy asked me, I don't want to answer him. I don't want to give him the right advice. I don't want to give him bad advice. What's the din? Always the din starts somewhere and finishes somewhere. Here, it seems that Moshe Rabbeinu is giving us halfway. The isur is to talk. So if I'm quiet, I didn't soil my mouth. But do I have a shiur to say the right thing also? In other words, is my mouth obligated to be used when Hashem is sending me that mitzvah in front of me, and I have to become a shliach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Do I have the obligation to use my mouth to provide the right advice that I know in my das? Now you see the problem we're having in front of us. We're having a problem, a huge problem of halacha. Someone comes, he needs an advice. I'm a good guy. I don't want to give him the wrong advice. However, I don't really like that guy. And somehow it's hard for me to utter the words to give him the right advice, which I know. Is the din, is it the same din? Let me ask you a different question. And after that, we're going to go deep inside. Okay, I know you guys are not used to these kind of halacha questions. What if I give wine to a nazir? The Gemara says it's lifnei iver, it's over lifnei iver. But what if the nazir doesn't drink? He's a frum guy, doesn't care. It says, "Velifnei iver lo isiten michshol," is the question of placing an obstacle, a stumble block, before someone weak, blind, whatever you want to call it, or it's because I enable my friend to be over on an isur, then the isur goes back to me. What is the isur here? I want to understand. Wait for the Ren, because everything becomes so clear. All right, let's start. Rabbi Chia comes and explains that pasuk loise kal cheresh and belifnei iver. He says this pasuk should be explained according to pshat. However, there are other things included, drush, soid, in this pasuk, and they're all one. And they all have to be explained the same way, but like the Sifra said, giving the wrong advice. We're not explaining that he is exactly blind. We're just saying he's blind on that field. Someone wants to move to Miami, and he's a frum guy, and you're telling him to go to Miami Lakes or North Miami, but there's no frum community. This is part of providing of the love of lifnei iver lo sitan michshol. Why? Because I have a house for sale there. Automatically, that's awesome. And all the four level of the parties here are basically one. And he says like this. When someone curses his friend before him, like brought down in the Gemara Bamamtzia, Nun Chesamud Beis. Here is chayav as if he has spilled his blood. Why? Because he becomes, through the shame, you have two types of shame. One shame, when the person becomes white, all the blood goes. And you have when someone becomes red, all the blood goes up. Shvichus dam. That's what but here we're not talking about this. This already we've learned. It's clear in the Gemara. But here we're talking about someone cursing his friend while his friend not being here. He doesn't even know that this one cursed him. What is the word? It's only a word, right? What is the power of this curse? What this curse doing? Says the Zohar HaKadosh, that when someone speaks, the sound, what is words? What are the words? Words is the sound that I'm breaking to basically through my palate, my teeth, or my lips in order to change, like a flute. You know, you block one hole, you're going to have a certain note. You block two holes or three holes and you leave one, and you're going to have another note. You block two holes, this two, this three, this, that, pa. It's incredible the level of combinations you have in that. Same thing with the mouth. From the throat, it's a pure sound. Ooh, simple, like the shofar. Now, this sound is being broken through with the mouth, with the tongue, in order to provide letters and words. So it's kind of a creation. Where is the source of the sound? From the nefesh of the person. Nefesh chaya, batoyitze haaretz nefesh chaya. Says the Targums there, ruach memalela, a spirit that speaks, the neshama. The koyach hadibor is from the neshama. So once you misuse a word, a sound, you're a neshama, so I'm going backward, to hurt another Jew, things are happening. Things are happening. What is this word? This word goes up. Look, you take the word pay. How much is pay? 85. How much is mila? 85. So you see that the mouth is what creates the words. And these words are going up, and they're going what we call the Tehaim Rabbah. Tehaim Rabbah is the Bina of the Sitra Achra. Who is in the Bina of the Sitra Achra? The big snake, the Malach HaMavis. This is the 7th level of the Gehenna. It's so powerful to misuse the mouth that right away he goes and wakes up all the bad spirits, the Malachi Kabbalah, all of them up to the very Nachash. And then the very Nachash raises its scales, meaning it starts being mekatreg up there on the person that's right away. It's not, you see, prosecution depends on who the prosecutor is. Sometimes you have a good prosecutor, sometimes you have a less good. So chances is the judgment will be up to the level of the prosecutor. Here, you're talking about top-notch. There's no higher than that. The highest prosecutor in the whole world. And that prosecutor wants only one thing. Take a neshama. It's the Malach HaMavis. That's his job. That's its function. At that point, the Zohar says, woe to that person, because all these koiches together wake up and come up to punish him. In other words, every word create, it's a powerful, it's a spiritual bomb, put it that way. As much as an action sometimes can create something dramatic in this world, a word can create something dramatic, not only in this world, but also in the upper world. And therefore, a person has to be very careful, and the Zohar revealed that the word has the power to reach the highest level, wake up, the highest level of persecution. what happens? We learned it already, right? Let's go into the sure. No, it's not here. I didn't put. Okay, so let me take it from here. We said P equals 85 equals Mila, the words. But it equals 5 times Toiv. On the Shabbos shiur, we haven't learned in the Das. The Das has 5 chasadim from the Chochmah, 5 vuras from the Bina. It consolidates the Chochmah and the Bina. Chochmah and Bina are both in the Das. It's all 5. And the 5 times Toiv, who is Toiv we learned last week, is the Yesod. It's a bris kodesh. You see the correlation here of a person. It tells you when he starts using bad words, he tells you behind that foul mouth. Someone who has a foul mouth, you know right away that he's chote with his bris. No question. Don't even ask and come and play yeshivish and drag the cup with the lamdus here and there. It's a guaranteed. We've learned it times after times according to the Zohar. Why? Because the hey time toives, the das is public. When a person talks, it's not that his mouth is a sewer. It's his das, his head is in the sewer. That's what it tells you. And once a person, now it could be, if you see how much it's written on the Rishis Chochmah, Emek HaMelech, on this, when the Gemara itself in Echin, the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Kuval, the non-stop, anyone that misuses his mouth, you know right away that there's a huge pgam in him, and especially in his das. And after all this, we're going to have something, ve'ahavta le'reacha kamoicha ani Hashem. Let me just highlight this, so I remember how to finish on this. Here we go here. And again, this ani Hashem. And here we go again, ani Hashem. I want to explain you the side, not just remember that to tell you this. Why after all this? Because anything, you know, all the Isurim here show hatred for your friend. And you have to love him like yourself. Almost impossible, but that's the chiv of the Torah. We're going to explain that. So now this person here has, we said last week, about the Midrash from Rabbi Yochanan that the person has to be a captain. Remember? There's no better. What is, last week we left it a little bit in the blurring. Now we see clearly the pshat and the taich of that Midrash. The person, the das of a person wanders. It's not attached, it's not grabbed. According to the place he's going to, according to the environment, the friends, his das will shift. His das is never anchored. And therefore, he has to be, Yochanan said, you have to be a captain of your das. You have to find tricks, ideas, you know, how to escape the danger, but you have to be always aware on top of your das not to let it wander. Because if it wanders, it creates havoc. So you have to be on top of the das. We ended up saying last week, asking the question, why is sachbulos was written, which means tricks, without a vav, the second vav, sachbulos. It's missing a vav here. And we said that this equals to 846, which equals to 5 times Yud K Vav K, yeah, the yichud of the Chochmah and the Bina. We're going to be in that the whole time. And because this is the source of life, this is above. You see, when Yud K Vav K are like this, means they are into the das. This is what each one gives. And we said, this is a lot. Keep it on the side of your head. I'm just going to say another Zohar, and I'm going to come to it. And you will see now how it's going to come and flare up. Says the Zohar HaKadosh, keeping on here, on the person that says that this time it's on Parashas Kedoshim, Parashas Pikudei, the Zohar HaKadosh says that when a person says a bad word or uses, foul language, or Chaz v'Shalom is saying Lashon Hara, at that point, this person is finished. Finished in this world, finished in the next world. People, I'm not going to go into the Onshim, I'm not going to go into the Sigupim and the truest high has to be done. Someone, it seems that, according to this Zohar, the biggest Aveira is misusing, not keeping your mouth clean. And ends up the Zohar on a note that on the two extremes, it's true. If you have a Puma Kadisha, if a person has a holy mouth, or if someone has Puma dem Savusa, a mouth of Tuma, two extremes. Which Tuma? Which tumor comes on the person? I want to know, because we have to break down what is the importance of keeping the mouth and not letting it sway, not having this urge, understanding don't revenge. What do you mean don't revenge? Someone is cursing you right now in your face. It hurts you. Torah says you have a love now. You before Hashem put you in that position in order for you to be mekayim that mitzvah of loisika v'lo yisita. So what am I supposed to do? This guy is a low life. I have to let him curse me like this in public? I have to let him shame me in public? Torah tells you he has done worse to himself than you can ever do to him. It's going to be only on the appearance you think you're going to save your face. But you don't need to save your face. This guy already has taken all your Gehinnom away. You should kiss his feet. And he has given you in present his holy Tai Olam Haba. You should again kiss his feet. But that's not it. His nefesh, ruach, neshama of Kedusha left. Now comes the Nachash and see that person, Shechina is not there. Oh, Shechina is not there, free entrance. Boom. He's getting, now his source of life is from the Nachash. He's not connected any longer to the Kedusha. This person really should become a Metzora. But we don't have the Ezoiv, the Kohen to be That's what David HaMelech says to, he was also before the Beis HaMikdash. Techateini be'ezoi ve'etha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you, we say it in the David. You be metire me. When he had the story with Bathsheba, you know, and people were saying that it's an isur, he told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, be metire me like you had the Ezoi. I forgot what he called the Ezoi again in English. Not that one. It's going to come back to me.
Hyssop?
Huh?
Hyssop?
Yeah. Very good. So umisheleg albin, and I'll be wider than with because it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu the mimeter. But this person says the Zohar, she throws at him the tumor of Nida. A woman, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because of the klala, you know, of eating the fruit, gave her the tumor of Nida. But he gathered also that when she goes to mikveh, he leaves. But on a man. On a man. How do you do that? How do you relieve yourself from this tumor? Only the Kohen can do it. That's the only way out. But we have no Beis HaMikdash. So how is this person keeping on living? We have to understand. We take the mouth and the tongue. Mouth is shchit. Tongue is like the yesod. Yud Ke Vav Ke Aleph Dalet Nun Yud. Every time we using our mouth, we are talking through the power of dibur is the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yud Ke Vav Ke Aleph Dalet Nun Yud. If you take Pei Loshen, the mouth and the tongue together, and you want to know, I'm not comfortable. This is our Yud Ke Vav Ke, the Zohar say. This is the Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, the Yichud. Every time when you say a good word, you make a Yichud. That's what gives power. Here you're soiling the Yud Ke Vav Ke with an insult, with Chas v'Shalom, a curse. I want to check behind it. Pei Loshen 471. 10 times Yud Ke Vav Ke, 10 times Ke. Again, I told you to remember, Sachbulois was 18 times, Chai times Yud Ke Vav Ke Ke. When you use and Pei and Loshen, this is when you can build your das and give it kind of a path. When you say the words of Torah, when you say there's a Zohar, just all this, it's not from me, it's from the Zohar. When you say words of tefillah, the Toiva, if we had known the Toiva Kodesh Baruch Hu did to us that names that we don't see because they're hidden in the letters and in the order of the letters, that we can say to elevate ourselves every time with the words of Torah and words of Tefillah, this creates a level where the person rises, and at that time, the person himself, his mouth is becoming a kli sharis, a vessel that he can use, gather something, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do it. Why? Because the name of Hashem, Kishmin Nikra Bekirboy, because now my name is in him. So every time you speak, automatically it's through the name of Hashem. Now we see the opposite side. When the person misuses his mouth, we said also a bit last week, we said especially during the shiur on Shabbos, what is the koil? And so for this year, I want to remind that koil, I'm going to show you this because this is fundamental for you to understand. It's a very basic, with what HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. Es hashamayim ve'es haaretz. Earth and heaven. Heaven and earth. If you take the first, so the Ari HaKodesh says, if you take these letters, you'll find out. We have Aleph, Hey, Vav, Hey. It's almost like Keye, but we have Aleph, Hey, Vav, Hey. That's what comes out of this. So we have Yud Ke Vav Ke in the Chachma, we have Keye in the Bina, we have Kava in the Das. This is the name in the Das. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Shamayim, Va'aretz, says Ari HaKodesh, with this name, Aleph, Hey, Vav, Hey. Now, if you take this name, Aleph, Hey, Vav, Hey, equals 136, equals Koil. Now, you understand the correlation between the mouth and the das, because words are only chopping the sound in order to give it, to make it intelligible to others. Now you understand that the koil is coming out from Yud Ke Vav Ke Keye, Chochma Bina, because both are included in the das. Now you understand how high you are. You are in the Yud Ke Vav Ke. You're not in the Vav Ke, you are in the Yud Ke. So when someone's soil is in the mouth, his whole binyan of Kedusha is gone. What did we say? I'm going to prove it to you. What did we say before? Lo yisekal cheresh, right? And that's the first one. This equals to a number 1099. How is a person made of? A person is made by 5 types of souls. The lowest one connected to the group is nefesh. Then you have the spirit, which is, it's all called neshamas, ruach. Then you have neshama. That's it. Which is basically what we call the nara, for those who know, which are the first letters of the nefesh, ruach, neshama. But then if the person is a tzaddik, he has a pei kodesh, he's zoiche to the chaya, which is a neshama to the neshama. And if he's a tzaddik yesod oilam, he is zoiche to the yechida. Very few gets yechida. Moshe Rabbeinu, Lo yisekal cheresh, you could be whoever you are. You can be the tzaddik yesod oilam with the nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. This tells the whole. You misuse your mouth. You have worked all your life for this, for going up and be zoiche to the yechida, to the unique neshama, which is mamish, a sparkle exactly of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not from a side, from a this, the Shechina. No. From HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. It's a part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. One of the highest level parts. And he's giving it to the person when the person becomes such a kid. And a person that misuses his mouth loses everything. How do we know this? You know the story of Doyega Doimi? Probably not. In the time of Shaul, Shaul was pursuing David HaMelech. David HaMelech went to hide by Achimelech in Noiv. Achimelech was a Kohen. And Achimelech had the sword of Shaul, the sword of Goliath. And when he saw David HaMelech running like this, like Nebuch, and no food, he fed him, he fed the people with him, and he gave him breads, tzedel aderech, and he gave him the sword of Goliath. Doyega Doimi was the Gadol Adoyer. He was 33 years old. Nobody could come close to his Torah. Nobody. But he sold his mouth. He told Shaul, Achimelech gave a sword and bread to David HaMelech, your enemy. So Shaul went to confront Achimelech. Achimelech said, yeah, it's the truth. But what did I do wrong? He was coming on a mission from the king. So it's not. Shaul said, no, so I didn't know. Killed Achimelech. That blood went right away on Doega Doimi. What is the Gemara saying? Amar Rabbi Yochanan. 3 Malachi Chabala came down to the world. 3 nasty spirits, I think it's Sanhedrin Kuf Vavahud base, came down to the world, and 1 made him forget all the Torah first. 2nd, burnt his neshama to ashes. This neshama cannot be redeemed, finished, ever. 3rd, they took his ashes and spread them in all the Bate Knesias and Bate Midrashos. So forever, him who knew Torah has the regret. He didn't keep his mouth. That's when a person could be the Goynada, what happened to Doeg? Died right away. Like Lo yechetzu yemehem v'ani eftach bach. The Reshaim don't come to half their life. Half a normal life is 70 years old, says David HaMelech. People live longer, but the minimum that usually HaKadosh Baruch Hu give to people is 70 years. And it didn't come to, he died, the Gemara says he was 34 years old. Achisoifel, by the time of David HaMelech, also sold this mouth. He died at 33. He was also, David HaMelech called him, Alufil Miyudai, my rabbi. But he sold his mouth. He was the biggest in Torah. It doesn't mean someone that's all the way up there can chas v'shalom not fall. It's a big danger, the mouth, a huge danger. We can see Gdoile Oilam that through history that went down and fell to the other side totally because they were not able to withstand the nisayon of the mouth. What does Rabbi Yochanan says? You have to become exactly like the captain that never leaves the deck without surveillance. You can't leave your das a moment and rely on go on cruise control. There is no cruise control on this das. This das is very dangerous. And this inside the das are the name of the Chochmah and the Bina. So we have to make sure that we don't but we still haven't responded then. We have still the original question. Loisekal cheresh is more chamor. It's much more stringent, but lifnei iver. Because in lifnei iver, at least, loisekal cheresh, by not doing nothing to nobody, my friend didn't even hear that I was cursing him. So why am I punished so severely? At least by lifnei iver, I gave the wrong advice. I drew profit from this advice and something, so I can understand the stringency. But on the Losek al Cheresh, so if already when I don't draw, my friend doesn't get hurt, and I don't draw any benefit, the punishment is this most strictest possible, to the highest level of this world. Person goes. Kol sheken when you draw a profit. So why is it that the lifnei iver is mentioned after loisek al cheresh? It should have been before. The lighter, gradually, you go higher and higher until the Rekanati HaKadosh, Menachem Rekanati, Talmid of Rabbi Avraham Abulafia, says something tremendous, huge from what we're going to have a learning here. Always funny words that I come out here. I never know if I'm going to come out. When I take his words, I never know if I'm going to be able to explain them and come out. Baruch Hashem, sometimes I'm successful. He says So he's not talking about that question, but he gives in general, he gives a reason why, because he says, even al pi pshat, it has to make sense. Why is the Torah prohibits the insulting, so stringently the insulting of the deaf and mute? It should not be so stringent. So he explains, when somehow someone lacks a certain attribute, listening, being able to listen, being able to talk, those very attributes used by someone else for the bad make resound and make a lot more damage. That's his word. And he says, understand. Okay, I understand the deaf and mute, he can talk, he can hear. The other guy can talk and can hear, and he insults. He heard his own insult. So we have the shmiya, and we have the dibur. Which koiches are these, shmiya, dibur? If you take here, to understand, unbelievable where he's going to take us, the Rekanat. Dibur equals 647. Equals, I should put it in the right order. Nefesh ruach. Exactly. Now, the Rekanati is pointing us in a direction. Why is he deaf and mute? Because himself, he has a pgam in the nefesh and ruach. Automatically, in this generation, in this life, he cannot talk and he cannot hear. Aha. Are you telling me that this guy basically is a Gilgul, and in the previous one, he has done something very wrong that prevents him in that Gilgul to have the power to hear and to talk? So basically, the Rekanati here tells me that what this person has done. Because if I take 47, he gives me something much bigger than this. Tikkun Yesod. He came, a person comes mute and deaf when he has the Yesod. Whether it's the Yesod of the mouth or the other Yesod, the breeze, then the person comes back. So this Cheresh has sinned with that. Therefore, it has a much bigger effect on him because he has been already through that. And therefore, when you harm him, oh, we know that guy, the bad spirits say. He was with us for a certain time up there. He was punished. Oh, he's back on track. Yes. And they will kill him. I'm sorry. Coming to Hashem. I didn't do anything to the guy. It's not me. He died. I mean, Hashem, it's you. You took him from this world. No, you killed him. How did I kill him? Because here he had not yet his whole full neshama in one place to be able to rebuff the attacks of the thing. When your words went up and woke up the Nachash, automatically they went back at the din at him, and the Nachash killed him. The blood is on you. Now we see a different picture. We see someone that basically uses his mouth. The mouth is a trigger to a huge thing in Shamayim. Besides the fact, as we spoke before, which is still true, what the chet that he has soiled the names, that while having the names of Hashem in his mouth, he has soiled them, and despite and we above that, and above that, he had waken up the worst persecutor, the Malach HaMaves, and the Malach HaMaves, as the Gemara says, 3 people died. The people that spoken, the people they're speaking about, and the one that was Mekabel. If there's someone else there that listens to it, he's going to. The Gemara calls it Lishnat Chlisar, the tongue of 3. What is the tongue of 3? The tongue that takes 3 people. Look how stringent. Now we have broken down. Before I let you go, I just want to answer one question at halacha, because those on Shabbos I can always catch up with. You, those who are on the shiur, I cannot catch up with. First of all, what is the soid to protect your mouth? I understand it's a tragedy. We've been talking about it for an hour. Is there something that we can do in order to protect our mouth? Say Shlomo HaMelech one pasuk. Shomer piv ul shomer. If you keep your mouth and your tongue. We were talking about mouth and tongue the whole time. Shomer mitzares nafshay. From his nefesh, like we said, nefesh ruach, he creates a begam in the nefesh. Because the coil is coming from the nefesh. You want to see something? I think I have to give it to you. And because that's the first trick, probably I'm going to stop after that from this. I don't need to answer more. Shomer piv ul shoy, no, it's written in full, equals 1040. Equal hakoivesh es yitzvah. The biggest midah of all the middos. Person has to learn constantly, even when you're not at the time of an Isayim, when you're at the table and you want to eat and you're so hungry, and you said, you know what? That's a good time to train myself to overcome my Yetzer Hara. When you're dragging your feet and you say, oh, I better go to second minyan or whatever, I'm not going to mikveh, today it's too cold. You just do the opposite. You are gaining, the more times you do that, the more you train yourself, the more the Yetzer Hara becomes easy to overcome. So when you're going to use that training, when someone, the professionals, they train before competition. Competition is when the moment of truth. It's too late. You don't train in a moment of competition. You train before. Look how long a boxer is. A boxer trains how many months in order to be fit, come to the right fitness to go on the ring. Here also, you don't come to the Yetzer Hara and expect to overcome him just like this. Shomer people, shoyno. You want to keep your mouth, you have to be a professional at overcoming your Yetzer Hara. Otherwise, if you don't, this is what 140, because you don't keep your mouth, is nachash, what we said, kesem, you become amal, all the big, that's we're talking very high oven, the big klippus, mirma. All in the pasuk. Everything Bilam wants to bring on the Bnei Israel, nachash, kesem, amal, oven, mirma, equals 1040. All are heads, generals in the armies of the nachash. And this is who comes. And you can overcome them by training yourself from HaKodesh Yesich. However, and I'm finishing on this, a person, it says in Tehillim, Ne'elamti Dumiya. I remained quiet. I did not want to get involved. Why? It's this guy's business. I heard a guy talking very badly about a dayan. I heard a guy talking very badly about a Talmid Chacham. I heard about someone cursing or cursing a Rab or cursing anything like this. Or making fun of a halacha. And I say, you know what? He's not worth it. I don't want to mix up. I remain quiet from talking good. Then there is no difference. No difference. Soiling your mouth by saying something improper or preventing your mouth from saying something you must say. No difference. You are soiling your mouth to the same level. Preventing the mouth from saying something good and defending the Torah and defending what's right. Oh, because you're scared of that guy, he's going to say again, and I want to be in good terms, he's a rich guy. You know something? Look down your feet. You can see the Gehinnom already. But let me show you something. I want to show you something, what David HaMelech is telling us in this passage. There's a tremendous lekach in this passage, and this gonna enable, Shechina goes away, we said, from that person. It's yeah. Don't remember. I think it's these two. I don't know the treasure of my head now. Yeah. Let me see. It's this one here, the two. If you take Ne'elamti Dumia equals 596 equals Shechina in 4. Shin, Kaf, Yud, Nun, Hey. There's nothing left. Oh, you remain quiet? You don't want to talk? You don't want to stand for Torah? You're scared. You're a Lemelech, huh, already? Get out of here. Shechina is gone from you. Exactly what the Zohar says, if you take, is to put it with a little bit of more Lifnei Iver, when you give a bad advice to somebody, oh, 46. Marvelous. There. Who did the Zohar say he woke up? The Malachim. No Shechina, the Nachash is here. What is a person? Hecheshesi mitoyev. What's mitoyev? From good. What's the good? We saw 5 times good before. Mitoyev equals, the pasuk is hiding here something. 40 times. 40 times, and I'm finishing on this. 40 times. 40 times 12. 40 times 17. What is it called? 680. Equals 10 times time. For those who learn with us on Shabbos, the life with the 10 spheres. There's no more lies. There's death. We understand how the whole engine is working. Why is this person leaving the world? It's because there's no more Chaim. And the Malach HaMavet is here. The Shechina is not here to defend him anymore. What do you have to expect to happen? That's why he's going. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. There's nothing more important in this world, more than anything, to keep our mouth clean. Not to answer, not to talk, not to even kol hamumui bemumu poiso. At the end of the day, sorry. This stuff.